Now, I want to make you aware that I did actually have to create a new Depop. This is because I actually got banned. Today we're going to be talking about 5 reasons that your items aren't selling on Depop and how to fix this. So this could be down to the season that we're in the UK. So let's say, for example, we are in winter and you're trying to sell bikinis. It's very unlikely that they're going to sell. So you're probably best on waiting to summer to actually list those. And at least you know you've got more chance of those actually selling. Same if you're trying to sell a big thick coat in the summer, it's very unlikely that anyone's going to buy that. So you're probably best keeping certain items for the seasons that you would actually wear them in. Number 2, poor photo quality. So this can be anything from, you know, if you took a picture, it's blurry and, you know, you can see other items in the background, maybe like your thong or something like on the floor. Maybe I've done this before, so I am speaking from experience. You know, you don't want anything to look messy, you don't want a messy background, so you're probably best on taking the photo of your items on maybe like a blank white wall. If you don't have that, you could potentially, if you've got like a nice light coloured curtain, I know a lot of people are using those for backdrops these days, so you could actually put that, you know, like hang it over the curtain pole and have it like dangling down. Make sure that there's really good lighting, because there's no point in having like a dull sort of bedroom light or something like that, which is going to be like a yellow tone, because your item's not really going to look great, and you know people aren't going to be able to see it, you know, see the quality of it or actually see the item. What I would recommend, now I'm not saying you actually have to go out there and buy one, but taking your photos with a ring light is very helpful, because you can see the detail, you know, especially an adjustable one, because then you can, depending on what the item is, you can adjust that ring light and take the photo. It's going to be nice and bright, so your items are going to be seen clearly. A lot of people these days on Depop actually want to see the items really clear, because there's so many people had, you know, where they've been scammed and they might have ordered an item and it's arrived and the item is actually, you know, got holes in or something like that. You really don't want that for your buyers. All that's going to drive is bad feedback. Number 3, not refreshing your items on Depop. So if you've put all the hard work in, you've listed your items on there, and you just leave them and expect your sales to come in, it's very unlikely that's going to happen. What you need to be doing is you need to be going into that, into the item, into the listing, and you need to be, all you need to do, you need to just click on it, and you just need to refresh it. You don't even need to change anything within the listing, and what that's going to do is it's going to bump your listing right to the top of the pile. So when someone's going to be searching for that particular item, whatever it may be, you know, it could be a pair of shoes, a dress, whatever, that's going to come right to the top, because you've actually bumped the listing up by relisting it. And people are going to see your items first, so anybody else that's not doing that, theirs are going to be shoved to the bottom of the pile, and not actually getting seen, because there isn't actually any other way to get seen on Depop unless you're, you know, promoting it and telling everyone about it on different platforms. No one's really going to see your items, so that is a brilliant way to get your items back up to the top, so people can actually view them.
If you're enjoying the video so far, please remember to give me a thumbs up. I'd love to hear from you in the comments below if you've got any tips or tricks that could help me too.
Reason number 4, so your price could be too high. So if, for example, let's say you are trying to list an item from Primark, for example, and you've paid, let's say, £10 for that item, and you're trying to list it at, say, £7 or £8 plus your postage on top, then you're going to find that that's probably not going to sell, because once you add it all up, people will just think, well, that's not really worth it. They could just go out there and buy it. So I would probably recommend is just thinking about the item, putting a reasonable price, obviously a price that you're happy with, because you don't want to, you know, list something that's going to be too low either. factor in that Depop do take their percentage from it, which I think is 20%. So we have a few tips that I'm just going to say on top of everything that I said today. A few final tips are: you need to be honest about the item and the quality of the item, because if someone buys your item, they're going to receive it anyway, they're going to find out what the quality is like, and if they've found out that you've not really told them something about the item that they expected to be in really good condition, they're not going to be happy, and that's going to leave you that's going to potentially get you a bad review. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be building those reviews up, so you want to be looking to get 5-star review every time, and that's going to happen by being completely honest about the delivery, when you've posted it and when it's going to arrive, and just make sure they're completely happy. Communication is key, so speak to your buyers, make sure you're having the conversations with them, making sure they understand everything and making sure they're happy. And then you'll definitely get good reviews and feedback. I have another tip, and my other tip is if you're unsure about how much to put for your postage for your item, a good way to actually solve that is to go on the Royal Mail website, and you can actually put in the dimensions and the size and I think and the weight of your item, and it'll actually give you a price of what that could be should you go to the post office. I would recommend using that because there's been a couple of instances where I've actually put a postage on and I've got to the post office and it's actually been more than what I actually factored in for the postage. Now you can't then go back to the buyer and be like, well, it costs more, I need more money, because that's what you actually listed that price at. So you need to make sure you get that right, so you're not going to obviously do yourself out of any money when it comes to the postage, because obviously it can be quite expensive. Another great tip is to utilise the hashtags you can use within the description. So if you're listing, let's say a pair of shoes, you can hashtag shoes. If they're from ASOS, you can hashtag ASOS. And anything else that's going to be relevant to your item, so then when people type that in, obviously your item is going to come to the top of the list. You do have about 5 brands you can actually list. So obviously shoes, you wouldn't just get those from ASOS, you can get those from potentially Zara, Pretty Little Thing, Boohoo, whatever relevance it is. Obviously, if they are designer shoes, you would put and list designer brands instead. You wouldn't obviously have a pair of, Vivienne Westwood shoes and then, be putting in your tag Zara as your brand. You just wouldn't do that because it's not relevant. So just make sure you do put relevant hashtags to your item, and you will get more people interested in that, and more people will find your item. Now, another tip, and it's an absolute must, when you go and post your items, make sure you get proof of postage, because there's been too many instances where you've posted the item and then all of a sudden your buyer will message you, where's my item? I haven't received it. And if you haven't gotten your proof of postage, you have no way of proving you've actually sent that item. So you must make sure that you actually get that proof of postage. And then you've got the tracking ID. So if they do say, I haven't got it, where is it? You can actually then say, well, here's your tracking number, and it's, literally all sorted for you. And you know that you've got that proof there. And you don't get, because some people actually do try their luck, and they'll just say, the item's not arrived, even when you have posted it, and if you haven't got that proof, you literally have to, it has to be refunded back to them, and it's coming back out of your pocket. So you'll have been paid for something and then the money's went straight back out, which is what we don't want.